Hi and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham and I'm in Singapore. I'm at the Tribeca Future Facing Commodities Conference and I'm speaking with Darren Gordon of Centaurus Metals. Now Darren, just before we came on air we were having a quick chat and you were discussing the difference between having a nickel project in Australia compared to your Jaguar nickel project which is in Brazil.
Yep.
There seems to be some sort of outstanding differences there.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the cost profile that we expect to have from this project will be substantially different from operating in Australia. We've seen, obviously, in recent times, a number of operations in Australia have to curtail care and maintenance, potentially shut altogether. Some companies writing down a whole lot of on the value on their projects. You know, for us, we've pushed ahead with this Jaguar project. We believe that the operating costs will be low, principally driven by what we think will be the power costs at around 3 cents a kilowatt hour in US dollars. So that's a massive advantage when it comes to looking at the cost structure of the project, which should enable us to, I guess, operate side by side with all of this Indonesian supply that's coming on. So yes, Indonesian market is real. It is going to be relatively low cost. We need to be able to compete with that, and we think that we will because of some of the unique attributes that go on in Brazil. I think when you overlay that then with what that power looks like from an emissions perspective, we have this added benefit of being in Brazil in that 80% of Brazil's grid power is coming from renewable sources, principally hydro. So we can tap into that and have a very low emission footprint, which then when you compare that to Indonesian supply, it puts us in a very strong advantage to attract investment, strategic partnering and the like. So we feel like overall we're in a very different position to a number of the Australian projects, albeit because we're listed in Australia, we've sort of been tarred with the same brush and we've had an impact on our valuation.
Yeah, and I was just thinking on one of those lines that a lot of people do tend to think, okay, an Australian company should have a domestic project going overseas. It probably isn't in their best interest, but in a place like Brazil, which is like a mining jurisdiction, it seems like a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've been in Brazil for 15 years and we've had no issue operating there. We think it's a great place to operate, huge mineral endowment, great opportunity. And, we were able to do this deal on Jaguar 4 years ago with Wally. You don't get those sort of opportunities every day of the week, and it was about being in country. But at the same time, the Australian market does understand the commodity cycle, it does understand various commodities, it understands nickel. And hopefully that will be beneficial to us in the longer term because we can still access capital from that market, albeit that we've got a project in Brazil. I think we've seen a lot of other companies in different commodities going into Brazil in more recent times, and hopefully they all have success. We'd like to think that we're sort of one of the forerunners to encouraging groups to go there, and there's no reason why you can't have multiple commodities, multiple projects sort of having or being successful in country.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we expect to hear any more news this year? What sort of activities are you up to at the moment?
Yeah, look, we're right in the pointy end of the feasibility study for the Jaguar project. We look to get that out by June. We think that that's going to be a very pivotal milestone for us because it will demonstrate what the capital and operating costs are going to look like for this. And hopefully that confirms where I think the project will land from an operating cost perspective and allow us to clearly demonstrate that we can line up side by side with Indonesian supply. So that's going to be the main crux, but we've already received environmental approvals, or the key environmental approvals, earlier in this year, so in January. And there's a couple of others that have got to come through in the back half of the year. Once we have those, we should be in a position to make investment decisions, and that's going to be pretty exciting.
All right. Well, it's always onward and upward, isn't it? I mean, it's good to be having steps going forward than too many going back.
We really look forward to delivering this project. We think it should be a cracker.
All right, mate. Well, all the best with that, of course, as always. And as always, make sure you stay in touch with us so we can bring the story out.
Absolutely. Thanks, Wally. Cheers.